All right, so I think I say so a lot. Just be conscious of that. This is an example, a little sample of what the detail is going to look like. So imagine this is the side panel and this is the top rail or one of the inner rails. They're going to butt up like that, and we're going to have a little V-groove detail like that. That is achieved with a router and a little bit like this, chamfering bit. Now you might be wondering, why am I doing that? Well, if you just abut two straight joints like this, first of all, glue up, sanding, Bondo, everything, you can always tell there's a line there. So it's very hard to hide that line. So it's much better to create a detail in that line, a bit of a feature, like this. And if it's the same the whole way around the door, not only does it help with the glue up, but also it gives a bit of detail to the door, and we'll probably chamfer the sides, the outside bits of the door as well. But that's what we're going to do. So now all the bits that require chamfering are going to get chamfered. I also know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking this guy's crazy, no dust extraction. Well, I do have the mask. I didn't hook this up because I'm waiting on a better hose that doesn't snag. The hoses that I have are those rib type, and not only do they snag on everything, which is really annoying, but they also, on like edges, especially MDF edges, they'll create little dings in the wood. So I'm waiting on one of those smooth hoses for dust extraction. Little router here doesn't have it incorporated. So I do have another router, I could hook that up, but really I'm removing such a tiny little bit of MDF here. This should suffice. All the sanding and routering is done. So time to start a bit of glue up. So here you can see an example of the side rail. It's just going to get glued. So we're going to glue that up. We're going to pin it with some pins with a pneumatic gun and let it dry. My plan is to put the first side rail on and then not put the second side rail on the other side until last. I think I'm going to first cut roughly to length all of the side pieces. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut all of those pieces to exactly the same length and then put the other side rail on at the end. Like I said, it doesn't matter if all of this is like a 1/16 to an 1/8 of an inch out, because at the end of the day, with the track saw at the end, we can cut everything flush and square it up nicely. So that is the plan. Of course, the edge of the bottom piece that abuts against here has to have its end routed as well. Okay, let's get on with that. Cut long story short, we're going to measure the width of the board. We're going to subtract that guy and the other rail, and then we're going to cut cross pieces here to that dimension. There's a bottom cross piece, a top cross piece over there, and two in between. So we'll cut those all to the same length. Come on, glue bottle. Aha. Brand new jumbo bottle of glue. Because it's going to take a lot. We know this. This is something we know. All right, best way to spread large bits of glue is with a spreader like this, cheap, a couple of bucks. And you want to get a nice, thick, even coverage. I don't think you want to see me do this for an hour, so. All right, we are glued up, so now we are going to try and get this as flush as we can. This means less adjusting afterwards, or less trimming. And we're going to start, sorry if the camera's moving, it's on the same table. Then we're going to start pinning with some pins. Should probably move that camera. All right, that's better. A wide angle view. Okay. Let's get some pins in here. So pinning not too close to the edge, because remember I'm going to come back and trim a bit off. This is a new gun with a weird safety catch that I'm not used to. Now these are literally invisible, these pins, 23 gauge. You really would be hard pushed to see them. I might fill the holes, but I might just be wasting my time, to be honest with you. Good quality paint. Hide that. Oh, we're doing pretty well here. Really am impressed with that track, so I know I keep talking about it, but it really does cut some straight stuff. Okay, so not too worried about the glue, the squeeze out on this side. Obviously this side I'm going to clean up the squeeze out because we don't want all that rubbish there. Now we're just going to go to town with the pins. Just to act as clamps. Ooh, it's Pin City, baby. All right, let's do a bit of clean up with a rag. Unlike plywood or other real woods, MDF, you've got to be careful about how much moisture you put into it. You can get moisture resistant MDF, but when you're wiping up this excess glue, just be mindful of not using a completely soaking wet rag. You might find that the end fibers swell up like crazy, and we don't want that, do we? No, no, no. But try and get all that excess squeeze out off.
Can I get what?
Before, sorry, I'm recording. It's my wife. Before it dries. Here we go. Okay, one side of one door is finished, so you can pretty much see what it's going to look like. Sorry for all the stuff in the way. But there you go. 3-panel, massive door. And it looks like, you know, panels. Now you could build this out of timber, and I guess you could have MDF inserts or plywood, but it would get very expensive very quickly, and the client wanted to keep the cost down, so this is a pretty affordable way of doing it. So that's one side. We'll get on to the other side when it dries. On to door number 2. Have we learnt any lessons? No, not really. I think it's just rinse and repeat. So as you see, I got all the bits pre-cut, and it's just a question of gluing in and pinning them on, flipping the thing over and doing the other side. Let's get on with it.